All right, we are heading to the Kessler room of the Pioneer Museum. Along the way, I'm going to show you a few things that you'll see on your way there. For example, this barbershop display, got a really wonderful, colorful sign, some of the different barbershop tools, of course the great barbershop chair. In the corner here, this large item is the original safe from the Martin County Courthouse. This is a very large piece, very heavy. They actually had to lift it out with a crane, build a wall around it, rather than move it. So, and now we do have it in here. Other things we have, you'll see as you go through, we have different archive rooms, a family history, genealogy room. Those, if you're doing any kind of research, you want to stop in. Along this wall, we've got some really interesting bikes. We have a 1912 Wagner motorcycle with many of the original parts. It's a really great specimen of a bike. And then of course, we've got the big wheel bike. So you probably see that representing days gone by, but they did exist, and we have this really interesting one. Even has a nice little horn in there. So now we will move into the Kessler room itself. That was named for our longtime handyman, Ray Kessler. Did just a ton for the museum. In addition to doing those things, he himself was a great resource for local history. So this room is named after him, and we have built in our railway motors display here. So lots of great things related to that. Very influential business. Lenny, why don't you start us off?
Yeah, Fairmont Railway Motors was probably one of the most significant industries in the history of Fairmont and Martin County. At one time employed 1 of every 10 people in Fairmont. This is a chemical engine used for, as far as I understand, putting out fires.
Mm-hmm.
And over to my right is what we call the birth record room that has literally hundreds of thousands of records of inspection cars that were made in Fairmont and engines. They were all made in Fairmont Railway Motors.
And do we get a request or two on those?
We get requests from those throughout the United States, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, England, literally all over the world. Over here, we have cutaway versions of different types of machines and engines made at Fairmont Railway Motors. You can see the different examples there. They're cutaway. You can see what the internal portions of the engines and machines were. Very good for display to give people an idea of what they looked like, how they were assembled, how they were put together. Moving along down here, there's a display case that has just examples of a number of different things that were made at Fairmont Railway Motors. Moving further along down, the company made things for the war effort as well. A rotating mechanism for anti-aircraft guns. Just amazing the number of things that were involved. They were involved with. Moving on down, again, other examples of things that were made at Fairmont Railway Motors. The Fairmont engine, this dates back a long time, probably to the early years. Another example here, and Jim, what do we have back in this wall on
sure.
Relative to Fairmont Railway Motors?
Oh, we've got Dick Wade's desk. This is one of our newer items. This was the desk that he worked at. He was president, son of Frank Wade. So really, really cool piece. And then moving back along here, we've got just an awesome collection of photos that Railway Motors had their own photographer on staff who would take pictures of the things they were building, the different parts, both for advertisement and for reference. And they put them together in these really cool binders. So these pictures are, evocative of the things that they built, different pieces of machinery, different tools. Really kind of shows you, here's the high rail vehicles that could go both on the street and on the railroad. So they made those for many years. Here's one of those inspection cars. These are found all over the world, literally all over the world. So truly a global business. So these are really great pictures.
And they also had some historic pictures of Interlochen Park in their books as well.
Yes, yep. Wade was the proprietor of Interlochen Park, so this was his business. Interlochen Park was his passion. So, yeah, really, really interesting pieces. So,
Railway Motors was started really in 1909, and in 2009 they had a 100-year anniversary, and we had just maybe 100 rail cars, inspection cars that came here. These are rail car enthusiasts. They find an inspection car, they want the history on it, they will renovate it to make it look like new. They closed the tracks down from here to Wells that year, or that day, so that they could take their cars and go to Wells on the rails and come back again.
sure.
So it was quite an event, the 100th anniversary of Harsco Fairmont Railway Motors,
Yeah.
2009.
So, stop down, check out this room.